Statistics has it that the overall poor performance in biology is due to candidates' poor performance in biology practicals. Yes. So if you ever want to score A1 in your upcoming biology exams, stick to the end of the video and watch out for common mistakes that will be mentioned in the video, and try as much as possible to avoid those mistakes in your exams. Yes, and if you're watching for the first time, I am your favorite teacher, Glory Jonathan. So try as much as possible to watch out for my other videos for more study tips and advice on your upcoming examinations. Yes, so in this video we are going to discuss two things. Yes, two things. The first one is rules that is involved in biology drawings, or making rules that are involved in diagram drawing. Another one is tips that are involved in identification of specimen. Yes, so the first one, let's begin. The first one, rules that are involved in biology drawing or diagram drawing. Now, rule number one is, before you get into the examination hall, make sure you check your math sets to know whether you have these four things present in your math set. What are those four things? You have your pencil well sharpened, you have your eraser, you have your ruler, and you have your sharpener. Yes, make sure you have those four things before you even get into the examination hall. Okay? Now, after having those things, don't worry about other things, because other things will be provided to you by your biology teacher and the examination body you are writing the exams. So how should your pencil be like? Your pencil should be well sharpened. Yes, it should not be too sharp, else it pierces your paper, and you don't want that, because it's like a form of exam malpractice. So have your pencil well sharpened. Make sure it is well sharp, and use your sharpener to sharp your pencil from time to time during the practicals. Yes. Now, you know that if you do not sharp your pencil, blunt pencil can easily spoil your diagram. So you don't want that to happen. To also save time, you can go with two pencils if you have two pencils. Yes, because you save the time that you use in sharpening the other. Now, rule number two is, before you start your diagram drawing, make sure that you measure your diagram. Yes, often we hear questions like, make a 7.5 centimeter, make a diagram of 10 to 12 centimeters. So what you do is you pick your ruler and mark the points. You go to the points that is written cm, as centimeter. Place it on your paper. Now mark the point where you see the 0 points. Mark where you see 7.5, it is 7.5. If it is 10 to 12 centimeter, what that means is your diagram should not be more than 10 and it shouldn't be less than 12. Okay? Yes. Now, you can make a diagram of 10.5. You can make 10.1. You can make 11. You can make 11.5. You can make 12. Not 12.1. Not 9.9. Okay, I'm going to illustrate that. So, watch. So, to measure your diagram, you will need a ruler and you need a pencil as well as your eraser. Sorry, I don't have an eraser at the moment. So, let's just assume this is your answer sheet, and then you are asked to make a diagram of 7.5 centimeter. So what do? You will first place your ruler on your answer sheet, then mark the points, the 0 points. Do you see where the 0 point is? You mark the 0 points. Now, you have to avoid the mistake that most candidates do. Do not allow the exam's fright to catch you such that you make use of the inches side. Always remember to make use of the centimeter side. So you place your ruler, the centimeter side, on your book or on your answer sheet. Mark the point where you see the 0 point, and then mark the points where you see you have seen 7. Good, but you are asked to make 7.5. So this is the 7.5. This very one. That's where the 7.5 stops. So it therefore means your drawing is going to be from this point to this very point. Yes, your drawing, whatever you draw should not be more than this length. Of course, you can see that that's exactly 7.5. If you are asked to make a diagram of 10 to 12 centimeter, as I said earlier, it means that your diagram should not be less than 10. It should not also be more than 12. It shouldn't be even 12.1. So what you do, you still make use of your ruler and your answer booklet. You mark the point where you see the 0 point. For ruler that don't have 0 points but just have 1, start from where you see the centimeter. So like this one that have the 0 point, you pick from the 0 points. You're asked to make 10 to 12. This is where we have 10. This is where your 10 stops. You mark it there. Good. And this is your 12. This point now is your 12. So it therefore means your drawing should not be less than, from this point to this very point, your drawing should not be less than this. It can be 11.5, it can be 12, but it should not be more than this line. If it's more than, you're going to lose some marks. So rule number 3 is centralize your drawing. To help you centralize your drawing, you need to create a drawing field, or you need to put your diagram in the box. So I am going to give you an illustration, a written illustration, to show you how to create a drawing field to be able to centralize your drawing. So how do you create a drawing field or a box that will help you to centralize your drawing? To do that, you will need your 4 things, the 4 things I had mentioned earlier. But quite unfortunate with me here, with just 2 things. That's because my pencil is well sharpened, as you can see, it's not blunt. And I don't have a ruler, I don't have an eraser. So what you do is, for you to create a drawing field, you need to leave at least 1 inch margin on all 4 sides of your paper. Now, looking at your ruler, you see that the ruler has 2 sides, as I said earlier, the centimeter side and the inches side. So in creating your box, you are going to need the inches side. So you are going to leave just 1 inch on all 4 sides of your paper. Now let's still assume this is your answer sheet. Now you can see that your answer sheet has 2 margins, the one on the left and the one on the right. The left margin and the right margin. Okay, so you are going to leave 1 inch on all 4 sides. So what you do is you will place your ruler this time around, making use of the inches side. Now make sure that your 0 point aligns with that on your margin. Good, you can see the 0 point it aligns with the line on my margin. So that's my 0 point. So I'm going to leave 1 inch, at least 1 inch on the top left hand side. So I'm going to come to this one and make an indication. That's 1 inch. Now I will go to the top left hand side. Sorry, my ruler is a fabricated ruler. It does not have back and front. But in your own case, you should use a good ruler that has back and front, and it will make the work easier for you. So we want to take just 1 inch. Okay, so I'm going to turn my ruler like this so that I'll be able to have the inch. So I make sure that my 0 point align with my margin first. Then this is my 1 inch on this other side. So I'm going to track like that. So it makes, you should use a better ruler to make the work easier for you. So that's my 1 inch on the top right hand side of my answer sheet. Now I'll also come to the left side of my answer sheet. Make sure that my 0 point on my ruler aligns with, sorry about that, sis, because I'm the one videoing myself. Now I'll make sure that the 0 point, yes, aligns with my margin before I mark. So good, the 0 point has aligned. So I want to leave at least 1 inch. So this is the parts we have there, the 1 inch on my ruler. Then I'll go to the down right hand side. Make sure that my 0 point aligns with my margin. My 0 point aligns with my margin. Then I will also mark the 1 inch. Good. So now I have taken at least 1 inch on all 4 sides of my paper. On the left, top left, on the top right, on the down left, and on the down right. So this now is going to make my drawing field. So whatever thing I'm going to draw is going to be within this box. But one thing you should note is that the length of your field or box must be the same with your diagram measurement. Okay, so assuming, let's go back to the 7.5. If you're asked to make a diagram of 7.5, let's see if your 7.5 diagram is going to enter this field. Okay, so this is how it is. This time around, you make sure in measuring the diagram you make use of centimeter side. So now this is my 0, my 0 points. Now this is my 7 and this is my 7.5. Good. So this is my 7.5. So looking at it now, it means that my box is longer. My drawing field will be longer than my my diagram. So I'm going to shorten my drawing field to make sure it does what, look at it here, to make sure that they go together. So this is how this is where, sorry, I have to use a hand because there's no one holding the camera for me. So that's my drawing field. Okay, good. So this is the box. I'm going to, oh sorry, you see I don't have a ruler. Oh sorry, an eraser to wipe it out. So this is what we have. Good. So this is what is referred to as your drawing field. Okay, that is the drawing field. Now if you still want to confirm if it's up to your diagram will get to 7 point, will get into the box, your drawing field, you can still measure it again with your 0 points to 7.5. Good. So it means that is exactly, so whatever thing I'm drawing is going to be within this box. It's going to be within this box, and that makes it the real 7.5. So that is how to create your drawing field, or a box to enable you to centralize your drawing. Rule number 4. Make a visual representation of what you see, or a visual representation of what is presented before you that very day, on the day of the practical. Don't try to, if you're asked to draw a diagram, don't draw what is inside your brain. No. Don't also draw what you see inside the textbook. If you happen to sneak in the textbook inside the exam hall, don't try it. Draw what you see, what your biology teacher presents before you. Yes, because at the end of the exams, your biology teacher will write a comprehensive report to the examination body on the type of specimen she presented to you. And if she had made any alteration in the specimen, she will also have to write a report, the reason why that specimen was changed, and so what am I trying to say? Draw exactly what you see. If the specimen, if you're asked to draw the diagram, if the diagram is a ventral view, draw a ventral view. If it is posterior view, make a posterior view. If it is dorsal view, make a dorsal view. Or if it is what should I say, any kind of yes, make a dorsal view of this. Just draw what you see. If the specimen is a dorsal view, make a dorsal view. Don't just try to alter anything. Now, rule number 5, your lines of diagram must be very thin but visible. Make your lines of diagram thin but visible. Let it not be so thin, else the examiner may not be able to see what you draw. Now, the lines of diagram should not be woolly, and it should not also be broken. Avoid this common mistake of making an outline of the diagram. You sketch your diagram to join them up later, because it will give your diagram a poor finish. It will make your diagram to be woolly and broken. I'm going to give you, just watch this video of what I mean. Now I want you to watch what happens in diagram A and diagram B to show a woolly and broken diagram. Diagram B will be woolly and broken, while diagram A will be neat and good. Now, notice how the diagram is drawn. Assuming I am asked to make a longitudinal section of the mammalian kidney. Sorry, I have to use a red biro for visibility purpose. But while you are making your own, make sure you use a pencil. So what did you notice in the way I made my curve? You can see that from the point I started my curve, I want to make the cortex of the kidney. I never stopped for one reason. The line is continuous. That makes it neat. Now, let me still continue my diagram. Notice how I made my lines. My line is definitely continuous. I've not stopped for one reason till I get to the last point. Okay. Now I start another curve. From the starting point, I'll never stop, neither do I sketch till I get to the last point. So that makes the drawing, the lines, to be neat and it's not broken. But let's see what happened in diagram B. Did you see that is caging the diagram? Now you can definitely see the difference between diagram A and diagram B. You can see that the diagram in diagram A is neat, while that in diagram B is woolly and broken and is not acceptable in biology. So while you are drawing your own, avoid the common mistakes of sketching a diagram. Now, did you see what is happening in that very video? That is rule number 6. Avoid shading your diagram. Shading of diagram should be left only for students of fine arts. Yes, in biology, we do not shade. So, do not shade your diagram. Avoid that common mistake of shading your diagram. Rule number 7 is label all parts. Do not leave any part of your diagram unlabeled because you do not know the parts the examiner is looking for. And your labels should be written in pencil. Yes, your labels should be written in pencil. All labeling should be made horizontally, neatly. If you are able to make your labeling on the right side, if it fits into it, fine. If it does not, you can label on both sides. Both is acceptable. Now, avoid the following mistakes that people make while making their labeling, while labeling their diagram. What are those mistakes? Avoid writing on labeling lines. Yes. Avoid the common mistake of crossing labeling lines. Yes, do not cross labeling lines. Allow it to stand on its own so that it will indicate the parts you are describing. Yes, the parts you are just giving the name. Now also, do not use your hand to make a line, a labeling line. Do not use your hand to make a labeling line. Always use a ruler. Yes, because the examiner will easily see a line. Yes, there is a clear difference between a line that is made with a ruler and a line that is made with a hand. So make sure you use a ruler to make your labeling line. Now avoid putting arrow at the end of the labeling line. Yes, in biology we don't use an arrow. An arrow is used in chemistry to show direction. Yes, so avoid putting arrow at the end of the leveling line, as that's rule number 8. Scale or magnify your diagram. What do I mean by that? If your diagram is twice the size of your specimen, then scale it times 2. If it is half the size of your specimen, then scale it times half or times 0.5. Is that clear? Yes. Now it should be written below, preferably below the diagram, or you can even put it up. But the most important thing is scale your diagram. Sometimes we see you are asked to draw a beans. Now the diagram you're going to write, you are going to draw a bean seed is going to be twice of the bean seed. You know how small the bean seed is, so you are going to fix it times 2. Yes, because it is twice the diagram which you have drawn. So by putting that mark, you show that you scale your diagram. Rule number 9. Give your diagram a title or a heading. For example, a transverse section of an orange, a longitudinal section of the mammalian kidney, yes, the external feature of the fish, and so on, depending on what you are asked to draw. The title can be written below or above the diagram, and make sure you centralize your title so that the examiner can easily see your title and give you your. Rule number 10. So assuming you are asked to give a scientific name of a specimen, you know that the scientific name of a specimen is made up of 2, which is the generic name, which begins with a capital letter, and a specific name, which begins with a small letter. So let's just assume you are asked to give the scientific name of a specimen C, which is an orange, and you know that the scientific name of orange is Citrus sinensis. So what you do is the C in citrus will be in capital letter, capital CITRUS, and the S in sinensis will be small letter S as in this. So the second thing we want to consider in our video is tips to consider in identification of a specimen. So if you are asked to identify a specimen, you need to consider 2 things. Yes, the first one is you need to observe the characteristics, features of the specimen very carefully. You need to observe it very closely and very carefully so that you don't miss out on any parts that the examiner is looking for. Yes, if you don't observe it very carefully, you may mistake or you may take the specimen to be another specimen. So you really need to look at it very carefully and closely so that you can identify all the parts. Now the second thing you need to do is when you want to identify a specimen, make sure that you compare 2 specimens that have the same characteristics, 2 specimens with others that have the same characteristics. Take for instance, you are asked to, take for instance, you are given a bean seed as well as orange seed. A bean seed is specimen A and orange seed is specimen B. So what you do is you are going to observe those 2 specimens very carefully, and then you are going to compare the 2 of them because you'll be asked to give the similarities and differences between the two specimens, because both specimen A and specimen B are seeds and they look alike. Thank you very much for watching this video, and if this video is helpful to you, please share, like, subscribe and comment so that I can serve you better. I wish you success in your upcoming examination. See you in my